His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa returned back to Bahrain after an official visit to Moscow in response to an invitation by Russia's President Vladimir Putin. The two leaders discussed relations of friendship and cooperation in addition to recent regional and international developments of mutual concern. During the visit, His Majesty also met with a number of Russian religious clerics. Upon arrival to Bahrain, His Majesty was welcomed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa sent a cable congratulations to His Majesty King Abdullah II ibn al-Hussein of Jordan on the occasion of the Independence Day of Jordan. His Majesty expressed his heartfelt congratulations and best wishes to the Jordanian monarch for continued health and happiness, and to the brotherly Jordanian people for further progress and prosperity under His Majesty's leadership. His Majesty praised the strong brotherly relations between the two countries and peoples, and the development and growth witnessed in various fields under the strategic partnership that binds them. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to His Majesty King Abdullah II ibn al-Hussein of Jordan on Jordan's Independence Day. His Royal Highness also sent similar cable to the Crown Prince of Jordan, His Royal Highness Prince Hussein bin Abdullah II. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs and Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, affirmed that sports events have become one of the main factors in promoting the kingdom and enhancing its status and foreign participations, which is in line with the vision of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. He praised His Majesty's keenness to provide full care and support for Bahraini sports in international forums. His Highness expressed his appreciation for the outstanding efforts made by the government, headed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and hailed his follow-up to sports in general and Bahrain foreign participation in particular. In this regard, His Highness congratulated the competitor of the Bahrain Victorious 13 team, the French star Cassandra Beaugrand, who achieved a victory in the round of Cagliari in Italy, which is one of the 2024 World Triathlon Championship Series, by obtaining first place, as the championship is considered the World Champions League for professionals in the sport of Olympic distance triathlon. Cassandra defeated a list that included an elite group of strongest female athletes in this game. She defeated her rival for Olympic gold medal, Beth Potter from Britain. The Bahraini-Jordanian relations are characterized by brotherhood and partnership in all fields, the foundations of which were laid by the efforts of His Majesty the King and His Majesty the King of Jordan over the past years to serve the peoples of the two brotherly countries. More in this report. Strong and deep-rooted fraternal relations that have been distinguished throughout history by their stability and solidity. The Bahraini-Jordanian relations, which were built on the foundations of cooperation and continuous communication, derive their strength from the keenness of His Majesty the King and his brother His Majesty the King of Jordan to increase the level of development at all levels, which would advance bilateral cooperation that makes these relations embody a model of Arab-Arab relations that work to establish the principles of joint Arab cooperation and unify positions towards all Arab, regional and international issues. The mutual visits that brought together the Kingdom of Bahrain and Jordan affirmed the solid consensus and understanding between the two countries in various Arab and international issues, which reflects the sound approach of the leaders of the two brotherly countries in leading the development and progress of the two brotherly peoples in many well-known vital fields, including military, educational, cultural, and commercial. The positions of Bahrain and Jordan are similar towards many Arab, regional, and international issues, which are based on the principles of global security and peace, the promotion of human rights, respect for freedoms, and the rejection of extremism and terrorism. These relations are stable and solid, the foundations of which were laid by the leadership of the two countries for the benefit of the two brotherly peoples. 78 years since Jordan's independence, 78 years full of comprehensive and sustainable achievements in the political, economic and social fields that contribute to meeting the aspirations of the Jordanian people. Jordan continues to witness developments in the infrastructure, education and health fields, in addition to strengthening the role of the private sector and civil society institutions to contribute to the development process. On the 25th of May, Jordanians celebrate the anniversary of the independence of Jordan. And this anniversary, the people of Jordan renew their pride in their country under the leadership of His Majesty King Abdullah II ibn al-Hussein, who continues to lead the country towards renaissance and development. Jordan is distinguished by its balanced foreign policy and strong diplomatic relations at the Arab and international levels, thanks to the role played by His Majesty King Abdullah II in supporting Arab and international issues. The Kingdom of Bahrain joins the GCC countries in celebrating the 43rd anniversary of the founding of the GCC, which it celebrates on the 25th of May every year. On this occasion, the Kingdom affirms its continued support for devoting joint Gulf action, strengthening the defense and security systems, and following up on the implementation of joint development and economic projects. On the occasion of the 43rd anniversary of the founding of the GCC, the Speaker of the Representatives Council, Ahmed Lamsallam, affirmed Bahrain's support for efforts to strengthen joint Gulf action in order to achieve the visions of the leaders of the GCC. He praised the keenness of His Majesty the King and the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to develop Gulf cooperation in various development fields and to support joint projects. He affirmed that the Gulf Legislative Councils always support the development of the GCC system for its role in protecting and serving Gulf and regional interests. On the occasion of the 43rd anniversary of the founding of the GCC, the chairman of the Shura Council, Ali Saleh, praised the strength of the distinguished and established historical ties between the GCC countries and the cooperation, coordination and joint work witnessed in all fields. He praised the important achievements made by the GCC throughout its journey, which contributed to making the region an oasis of stability, security, economic prosperity and peace. He appreciated the role played by the GCC Secretary General in promoting the paths of cooperation and integration between the Gulf countries. The anniversary of the founding of the GCC is a commemoration of the most prominent and successful political, economic, social and cultural systems that affirms the strategic cooperation between the GCC countries at all levels. More on this report. On the 25th of May of each year, the anniversary of the establishment and founding of the GCC is celebrated, a day that is filled with pride in the achievements made by the GCC that meet the ambitions and aspirations of its countries and peoples. Since the first founding summit was held in Abu Dhabi in 1981, Their Majesties and Highnesses, the leaders of the GCC, have been able to translate the ambitious principles and goals of the Council and turn them into reality through an extended series of achievements at various political, security, economic, social, cultural, and other levels. The basic system of the GCC specifies the objectives of achieving coordination, integration, and interconnection among member states in all fields to achieve unity, strengthening ties between their peoples, and establishing similar systems. On the 43rd anniversary of its founding, the GCC was able to establish its foundations as a pioneering cooperative system in the region that gained the trust and respect of the international community thanks to the wise and balanced policy pursued by Their Majesties and Highnesses, the leaders of the GCC, based on the approach of constructive cooperation and mutual respect, with the aim of promoting common interests as well as consolidating security, peace, and stability in the region and the world. The GCC countries have been able to accomplish many strategic integration projects, most notably the Customs Union, and cooperation in the fields of planning, statistics, development, agriculture, energy, judicial, media, security, and military sectors, in addition to implementing sustainable development projects and making the Gulf citizen a main focus and participant in all development efforts. The establishment of a solid foundation had been laid for this solid entity so that it remains an impenetrable fortress and a witness to the unity of purpose and destiny in order to complete the blessed process of cooperation in the service of the GCC states and their peoples and to enhance their security and stability. And at the level of economic cooperation, the GCC countries are witnessing strong and diverse economic relations that enhance cooperation and economic integration between them. More on this report. The integration and interconnection between the GCC countries in the economic field constitutes one of the basic objectives of the Cooperation Council, in line with the economic agreement signed between the GCC countries in 1981, which enhanced the economic ties between them, according to which the Free Trade Zone for countries was established. In 1983, when the agreement was amended to include new and developed texts that reflect the decisions of the Supreme Council of the GCC witnessed further developments in joint work. One of the main achievements during the course of joint economic action is the establishment of a customs union body and the provision of a suitable investment and economic climate to attract national and foreign investments. Therefore, the importance of coordinating monetary and banking policies and increasing cooperation between monetary institutions and central banks was emerged. The GCC countries have adopted the principle of complete equality between citizens of the GCC countries in many areas, including practicing commercial activities in the areas of retail and wholesale, owning shares, establishing joint stock companies, encouraging inter and joint investments, and removing obstacles that hinder freedom of trade between the GCC countries, in addition to unifying commercial laws. The GCC states also work to coordinate industrial activities and develop policies that lead to industrial transformation of member states on an integrated basis. The economic relations and agreements between the GCC countries are one of the most important pillars of regional cooperation in the region. The GCC countries continue to achieve common economic goals by cooperating in the fields of trade, investment, tourism, and the development of other sectors. Their Majesties and Highnesses, the leaders of the GCC, paid great attention to joint military cooperation, which is based on methodological and scientific foundations that have achieved many gains and preserved the civilizational achievements of the GCC countries. Since the beginning of the blessed march of the GCC, and based on a firm conviction of the unity of purpose and destiny, joint military action has received the attention of Their Majesties and Highnesses, the leaders of the GCC. So the first meeting of the Chiefs of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Council was held in Riyadh in 1981 to discuss areas of military cooperation and to build and strengthen military integration between the armed forces of the GCC countries. An implementation of the directives of Their Majesties and Highnesses, the leaders of the GCC, all necessary measures have been taken to make the armed forces of the GCC more compatible during the implementation of joint operations through programs and many joint exercises between the ground forces, air forces, air defense, navy, and medical services units to defend the sovereignty, stability, and security and regional interests of the GCC. The Minister of Industry and Commerce, Abdullah Fakhram, met with the Assistant General Manager of CMAC Group, Li Mingqiang, to discuss ways to enhance cooperation in the field of developing industrial zones between the two countries. The Minister affirmed Bahrain's commitment to strengthening economic and investment relations and exchange experiences between Bahrain and China, especially in the field of developing the industrial and investment sectors. He added that China is an important strategic partner in these sectors. The Assistant General Manager said that such meetings help to enhance cooperation in the industrial fields and develop industrial areas through exchange of expertise and enhancing strategic partnerships. The Speaker of the Arab Parliament, Adil Assoumi, delivered a speech at the Arab Parliament's fourth session of the third legislative term held in Egypt. He praised the outcomes of the 33rd Arab Summit hosted by the Kingdom of Bahrain. He stressed that the Bahrain Summit came out with strong Arab positions to support the Palestinian cause and the Palestinian people, describing it as an exceptional summit and its importance and timing as it represented an inauguration of an important and new phase in the process of joint Arab action. Shura Council and Arab Shura Council member and Arab Parliament member Ali Al-Aradi attended the fourth session of the third legislative term of the Arab Parliament in Egypt, held under the presidency of its Speaker Adil Assoumi. Al-Aradi stressed the importance of the support of the Arab Parliament for the outcomes of the 33rd Arab Summit that took place in Bahrain. He pointed out that the Arab Parliament will prioritize during the next stage the implementation of the summit's outcomes and the initiatives that His Majesty the King affirmed during his opening speech. The Legislation and Legal Opinion Commission, the LLOC, has completed translating all Bahraini legislations into the English language, dating back to the first issue of the official Gazette in 1948. LLOC's President, Councillor Nawaf Abdullah Hamza, noted that the translated legislations are now available through the LLOC's website. He affirmed that providing the English version of legislations reflects the advanced status of the legislative sector in the kingdom, under the leadership of His Majesty the King and the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He noted that this initiative serves as yet another example of the kingdom's pioneering success across various domains, enabling wider access to Bahraini legislation in line with Legislative Decree 27 of 2021, amending provisions of judicial authority law promulgated by Legislative Decree 42 of 2002, which permits the use of languages other than Arabic in Bahraini courts. Hamza added that the availability of all national legislation in English enables all concerned parties to learn about Bahraini legislation, which ensures an optimal and secure environment for investments while also showcasing the development in the sector and its compatibility with international best practices and standards.